So, a new and very interesting character ID list just dropped, and it points to a roadmap that is a lot clearer than what we had a month ago. If these IDs and the connected hints are right, the next stretch from 6.3 through 6.7 is going to be packed with debuts, fast reruns, and a couple of curveballs. In this video, I will walk you through what the list suggests, how it lines up with reliable leaks, and what order actually makes sense once you factor in skins, festivals, and recent story beats. I will keep it simple, stick to what is known or strongly hinted, and only add the kind of logic that follows from those points. By the end, you should have a practical picture of what to expect and when to expect it without having to wade through noise. Before we jump forward, a quick anchor for anyone who has not checked the game today. Version 6.2 is set. Phase 1 features Durin and Venti together, with Jahoda as the new Anemo 4-star, joined by Feruzin and Bennett. Phase 2 is Varisa and Xilanen, with Gaming and Chevreuse on the 4-star side, and one more 4-star still under wraps. That is the baseline we are standing on. With that in mind, let us move to the main question. What is coming from 6.3 to 6.7? 6.3 looks like the moment a lot of you have been waiting for. Columbina finally steps out as a playable 5-star Hydro Catalyst. Her skill follows your active character, deals small area hydro damage, and builds gravity whenever your team triggers a lunar reaction. At max, it fires tidal interference that matches your most used lunar type. If she holds Verdant Dew, her charged attack turns into Moondew Purge and spends 1 dew to fire 3 area Dendro hits counted as Lunar Bloom damage. Her burst creates a moonlit domain that buffs lunar reaction damage for the whole party, and her passives further convert standard electrocharged, Bloom, and Hydro Crystallization into their lunar versions while raising base lunar reaction damage with her maximum health. None of this is final, but it clearly frames her as off-field Hydro Glue for Luna Charged and Luna Bloom teams. 6.3 is also where the White Horse Adeptus shows up. Leakers tag her as Zibai, a 5-star Geo sword who enters Moonshift Interstice, converts normals to Geo, builds Interstice Radiance, and spends it on Starlit Steed Trample. Several hits in her kit and burst are explicitly treated as lunar crystallization, with passives that scale off defense and boost party lunar crystallization. To support that path, the new 4-star Geo Polar Maluga really does buff lunar crystallize directly. Her burst grants stacks that your active character consumes on Geo hits, with extra value when the hit is lunar crystallization and scaling from Aluga's elemental mastery, plus bonus stacks around Geo constructs. Structure-wise, it still makes sense for Columbina to headline Phase 1 and for Zibai plus Aluga to anchor Phase 2. For reruns, Neuvillette remains very likely due to the Lantern Right skin he will get, with Escoffier a reasonable final slot. 6.4 is where the picture becomes more speculative, but still draws clear lines from the IDs. Between Columbina and Varka on the list, there are the 2 new arrivals we just covered, which leaves Varka in position to take the first half of 6.4. The consistent story is that Varka is a limited Anemo Claymore main damage dealer. If Escoffier returns in 6.3, the follow-up is very likely a Skirk rerun not long after, which points to 6.4 as a healthy landing spot. The rest of the second half can be filled by one of the high-demand 5.x units that did not rerun during Nod-Krai. Mavwika is a strong candidate because of raw popularity and team coverage, and Inefa lining up for a first rerun here is a good match for those who were undecided the first time she appeared. 6.5 brings the most uncertain leak in this run, and it is labeled that way by the sources, so keep your expectations flexible. Apparently, a new character called Snow Maiden should appear after Varka but before Nicole, and suggests a new 5-star is possible in this slot. It could also end up as a Spotlight 4-star if plans shift. Because the information on her kit is basically non-existent, treat this as a marker that one more new face is likely in 6.5, not a promise about her exact role. For reruns, the pattern is easier to sketch. If Inefa comes back in 6.4, Flynn's naturally follows soon, and 6.5 is a clean stage for that. Llama is another reasonable pick, and Xianyun or Chlorand can round out the pool. 6.6 is where the ID list, the live stream hints, and the current vision sightings all meet. Nicole, codename N, is set to debut here, and her vision has already been seen as Pyro. The safest expectation is a Pyro main damage dealer, which is exactly what the region meta needs after a string of supports and off-field units. Now, about Alice. There was a period where people read the trailers and the early quest flags and felt sure she would be the new top-tier Pyro damage dealer. Over the last weeks, the tone of the leaks changed. Multiple sources, including Hamdi GCAT, now say Alice is expected to remain a non-playable character for this cycle. I know that is disappointing to many of you, and I get it. The build-up was strong, and her presence in the special program pushed hype even higher. But looking at the IDs, there is still one empty spot between Nicole and Sandrone that could technically hold a surprise. If it ends up being someone else and not Alice, it still leaves room for a fresh reveal without breaking the current structure. As for reruns in 6.6, Kinnich and Raiden are both due, while Nefer is a good match if the schedule needs a popular damage dealer to pair with Nicole without overlapping roles too much. 6.7 is where the Fatui story thread picks up again. This is the window for Sandrone's debut. It fits her position on the ID list and also keeps the Harbinger pattern moving without leaving a long gap. The second slot in 6.7 almost certainly belongs to Columbina's first rerun. She acts like the Archon figure for Nod-Krai in everything we have seen, and units in that kind of role return about 3 to 4 patches after release. That timing is clean here. The remaining slot can go in a few directions. Durin could get a first rerun if his reception is huge. Otherwise, expect one of the early Nod-Krai units that has not rerun by then, or a Natlon favorite that has gone a long stretch without a banner. Either way, 6.7 looks like a strong finish to the region arc with a mix of new and returning power picks. Everything I have laid out comes from early leaks, speculation, the special program confirmations for 6.2, and the banner and kit notes that have been consistent from the most reliable leakers. Remember, all of this is still far from being confirmed. Plans can shift, numbers can change, and a surprise can slide into an open slot. Treat this as a working map, not a promise. Of course, I will make a new roadmap if major things change to keep you updated. If you made it this far, let me know what part of the roadmap you are most excited about. Are you saving hard for Columbina in 6.3, or are you more curious about Zibai and a true lunar crystallized path in Phase 2? Maybe you are a Varka believer waiting for a straightforward Anemo Claymore with modern numbers, or you are holding out for Nicole to bring a fresh Pyro style in 6.6. Whatever your plan is, I hope this breakdown helps you line up your wishes and not get blindsided by a sudden rerun. Pull what you enjoy, weigh the meta where it matters to you, and keep an eye on the official reveals in case any of these pieces move. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.